So good evening everybody, myself Acharya Vishvendra, and today I'll give some analysis on the momentum. So as we know that momentum is a measure of the amount of motion contained in the body, or in another way we can say that larger the momentum, larger force will be required to bring it from motion to rest, given that time interval is same in all the cases. So roughly it's a measure of the amount of motion contained in the body. So there are certain analysis for momentum. The first is it's a vector quantity represented by vector p. Second is vector p is equals to m into v, where vector p is the linear momentum and v is the velocity, m is the mass. Third analysis that we can make is that direction of velocity and momentum are parallel. So we can say that vector p is parallel to vector v. Analysis for this gives us that the cross product of p and v is 0, as cross involves sine theta term, and theta here is 0 because momentum and velocity are parallel. So p cross v here will be having a magnitude 0. Now next, consider the case finding the magnitude of momentum. So it is m into v. So v is here speed. So if we are interested in finding magnitude of momentum, it can be found by using the product of mass and speed of the system which is under consideration. Next is if we draw the graph between magnitude of momentum and mass. So since momentum is proportional to mass, magnitude of momentum, so the graph is gonna be a straight line. If we assume that velocity is constant over here, or for more precise things, we can say that magnitude of momentum and speed, we can refer to p as the magnitude of momentum and v as the speed. So from here we can say that slope of this graph is tan theta is equals to p by m, which will be equal to v, or which is equal to the speed of the body. But the same thing we can say about the velocity, because when we draw a graph, then it's quite understood that motion is taking place in one dimension and there are either positive or negative velocity. So sign convention is involved over there. So if velocity is positive, the same concern we can draw, the same inferences we can draw from for the velocity momentum graph. Next is analysis of these the mathematical relation. So if we draw graph for three different cases, suppose this is for graph 1, this is graph 2, this is graph 3. So from the graph we can see that theta 3 is greater than theta 2 is greater than theta 1, which implies that tan theta 3 is greater than tan theta 2 is greater than tan theta 1, which further implies that v3 is greater than v2 is greater than v1. So we can say that a graph corresponding to point number 3 corresponds to the maximum speed, while 1 corresponds to the minimum speed. So in a way we can say that v3 is greater than v2 is greater than v1. Next is if we draw a graph between p and v. So since mass is constant, we assume, and p is proportional to v, so the graph again is gonna be a straight line. So if the slope angle is theta, we can say that tan theta is equals to pv by v. So that is mv by v, which is equal to m. So we can also infer that tan theta here is equals to the mass of the body. So you have seen that in this discussion on analysis, I have discussed to the point explanation regarding the momentum itself, because when you analyze a physical quantity systematically and in terms of all possible permutation and combinations in the entire subject, then there is a development of neural networks, and it helps you to think in different perspectives, think in different situations. It helps you to solve multi-layered questions, multi-level processing, because here I have covered the very basic concepts of momentum as a physical quantity, then its its value or quantification of momentum, then direction, then vector, how it can be manipulated in vectors. Then I explained how it can be used in graphs, then analysis of the graphs, then analysis of three different graphs. So in a way, if you study in this pattern, if you study in a analysis based pattern, then it develops your mind brain system, and you need to know what to do exactly to have a sharp problem solving skill. So it's better to study in a point wise format and to the point, and try to use a lot of permutation and combination, so that you can create a neural links between different situations. So to have a good grasp of our problem solving, to be an expert in problem solving, just try to think in different situations, try to use different permutations and combinations, because it exposes your mind brain system to variations, and that variation is the very foundation of competitive exams like JEE and NEET. So if you are planning to score good in JEE NEET, first of all, try to, you say that optimize your mind brain system, your thinking, your mind brain algorithms, along with line of action of the exams and along with problem solving skills. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.